Hi, this is Stacy. I am trying to share my screen. Let's see how I do this. Share my screen. There we go. Okay, fantastic. My name is Stacy Krzan. I'm going live on this platform to educate you on how you can launch your successful cryocontouring services in your business location. I'm calling in live from Bernardsville, New Jersey. On this slide, you can see from day one where I am launching my contouring business back in the beginning of 2023. And the image on the right, you can see me now having launched a couple of different services, many of which you see on the bottom of that slide. So I'm really excited to share with you the simple steps that I believe are going to work to help most of you launch your contouring businesses in your locations. So there's a couple ways that you can get connected to me. You can connect on my online school community. It's a small membership program. The link to join I will share in the slides below. It is called the Cryo Contouring School, and it's by Krzan Consulting, which is me. And then there's some free education. So not everybody wants to join a member and not everybody wants to get one-on-one consulting. You're welcome to go on and learn at your own pace with some of the YouTube podcasts that we have recorded with Artemis Distribution. So a little backstory about me. I have previously had experience in brand management and had taken a little hiatus to raise some of my children who are now in their late teens. So during that time period, I noticed an opportunity to join the contouring business. It started because I was asked to be a demonstration model for one of their training programs. And so I was really excited to get the opportunity to be a demonstration model, which basically means I get to let somebody else demonstrate treatments on a body part of mine, and I get to have those fantastic results. So that's how I got introduced back in, I think it was September of 2018. And that began the beginning of my passion and obsession, might I say, in non-invasive contouring. So this is a fantastic industry. There's so much growth and explosion pre-COVID in the beauty industry, and more so after the pandemic period. Everybody wants to look good, feel good, and they're so focused on feeling better internally, which results in feeling and looking good externally. It really contributes to the way that they feel about themselves when they look in the mirror or when they're looking on, camera and presenting to their colleagues on Zoom. Okay, so back in the day, I had worked for Artemis and in so many different roles. A fantastic company, really exciting to be part of a startup that really catapulted the non-invasive contouring and also enabled many entrepreneurs, thousands of beauty entrepreneurs, to be able to introduce this treatment and treatments like this into their business and leverage the opportunity of elevating their treatment experience to higher prices and honestly having better results with their treatments that they're offering. So it was around the end of third quarter in 20. Let's go back at the end of 2022 that I had decided to become a consultant completely on my own to basically help businesses, probably like yours that you're watching because you're probably interested in how to launch your own business, start their own contouring business and help them, like I had seen so many businesses be so successful with lots of my advice and consulting. So I started my own adventure, and I decided to just give advice to people that were interested in learning. So one of the things that I decided that, and that in that period, was to just do what I say. So, it is one thing to be a consultant and then to give advice to somebody else. And there's a gap in the industry where people actually do what they say others should do. And so I thought it would be really novel or unique if I actually executed my own advice. A couple of really great learnings from that was when you do what you say you're going to do, it's a little scary because, it's really great to give advice to somebody and for them to have some incredible changes. You're helping somebody else do something. But there's also those types of clients or a couple of clients where you give some great advice and they don't execute and they don't have results and they also blame you. And so I actually decided to follow my own advice 100% and just do exactly what I would suggest somebody else to do. So I called Artemis and I got started with one of their devices. And that's the story that I'm going to share with you. Okay. So if I were a client of mine, I would say you should get one of their devices. And this is the image of me on the left where I had just received the CryoSkin, which is now called the Neve Skin Classic treatment device, and decided to launch my own treatment, basically called a wellness center in my area and rented a room and started from scratch. The image on my right is now the location that I have in Bernardsville, where we're also certified master trainers and we're offering a couple different treatment experiences. And now we're really focused on a very specific target audience. And that's what I want to share with you on how you can get there from, being an addition to somebody else's brand to having your own business and your own brand that is generating pretty substantial revenue on a quarterly basis, as you see in this chart. So the results of my experience are showed here. In the last 90 days, I have now generated almost $90,000, $88,820 in revenue. And you can see the exponential growth in that is really taken part in the last 30 days when I added the Neve Skin Ultra device. The chart on the right that shows the monthly trends, it's really comparable to many other seasonal trends in this industry. And so that looks like many other businesses that are offering contouring because it does have some peaks in the spring when people want to look good and feel good when they want to get outside of their homes and in their Zoom rooms like this, and then get out and enjoy their summer weather and their summer clothes. So it's important to take note of those seasonal trends. The thing that is markedly different in my data here and the monthly trends is the volume of sales per month. So you can see in the most recent month of June, it almost reached, I think, just over 30,000. And we're probably going to exceed that in the month of July here. I'm sorry, the June, that's actually May data that you're seeing from this last May. And then we're exceeding June's data here with July sales approaching pretty close to like $26,000, which is really exciting considering we're only 18 days into July. In the last 30 days, rolling 30 days data, you can see I'm at $27,000 in treatment revenue, which is so exciting because that shows the future growth of my potential business with adding an additional treatment opportunity with Neve Skin Ultra. So on this slide, you can also get some coaching advice from me, and there's a link that I will share. So how did I get here? When I look at the experience that I wanted to offer my clients as a coaching consultant, there was really 4 steps, really 4 markedly simple steps. Now, simple doesn't necessarily mean easy. It just means very simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Just really execute the basics. So the first step is choosing the right contouring device. There's so many options. I'll give you a little advice on how to choose the right one. The second simple step is to get and give great results. So that means that you should also be a walking billboard for your services, that you should love your services, that you should intimately know the nuances of your treatment experience as a client, as a provider, and really have amazing results of your own, and that you're able to give the same amazing results to somebody else personally, and that you're also able to coach your staff on how to have those amazing results. Optimize your process. So as you're growing and adding a new treatment experience or elevating your service, you're going to make some changes to your process. And so don't get analysis paralysis at the beginning where you fail to execute because you want everything to be perfect. Just go ahead, get and give great results, observe what's working, and then take notes. And then in the step three, you'll go back and look and take inventory of what worked, what didn't, and you'll optimize the process that you had in place to incorporate this new treatment experience. Step four, elevate your client experience. This way, because now you have created this amazing experience, you're able to elevate your client's experience, hopefully provide more value, have more consistent results, and give them much more than that you had originally planned to when you were a newbie. So I will go a little bit into detail about what those mean. So, in choosing the right contouring device, so Artemis Distribution has many different types of product offerings within their brands. The one that I chose to start with was the basic model. It's called the Neve Skin Classic. It's a really great way to just get your feet wet if you're brand new in the business. In my case, I just decided to start my own treatment business simply as a pilot to show everyone like you watching this video. And so I decided to start with a basic model, mostly because if you get the basics right, then you can start to like add some depth and some other complexities to your service. If you're brand new, a single person, and you've got a lot to manage, I don't recommend overcomplicating the process. As I launched the Neve Skin Classic and started doing treatments and demonstrations, I started to have a regular book of clients that require the Neve Skin Classic to be in place in my treatment room whenever there were clients booked. So I didn't have the luxury like I did when I was slow and busy. I'm sorry, slow and new, that I could like roll the device out into the lobby and do demonstrations or pack it up and bring it somewhere. So that's when I decided to add the flexibility of having the Neve Skin face, where I was able to just pack up the device, take it on the road, bring it to a friend's bridal shower, bring it to some sort of like girls' night out event, bring it to a charity event, bring it to the salon for demonstrations on their, Tuesday VIP events. And it was really great because it's a very convenient way. It's a little bit smaller, more portable, it's a lot cheaper, and it's just more user friendly in terms of just being able to pick up and go on the road. As my business started to get more stable in terms of having a regular steady clients, I started selling more 10 packs. I wanted to have the option to add some flexibility to my staff. And so that's when I decided to add these new Skin Ultra just recently in the last, I think it's been the middle of June. So it's less than 30 days that I've added the new Skin Ultra. The reason that I decided to add the Ultra was to allow for a some of the treatments to be hands-free, meaning it provided the technician the opportunity to set the client up and then walk away and not have to be one-on-one with the client during that entire treatment process. What that means is that that provider is able to maybe 40% of the time be able to do something else. And that something else could be giving that client an additional treatment during that same time slot. So the benefit to that client is that now they're able to have a knee skin ultra ab static treatment while that provider is giving a face treatment to the same person. And in that 1 hour, you're able to generate 50% more revenue because you're adding another treatment. So when you're considering which of the different brand offerings to add, I would suggest that you consider what it is that you're trying to accomplish, how much money and risk tolerance do you have, and then what number of staff and skill sets you have that would pair right with that device. Step two, get and give great results. I mean, this business is amazing, right? I mean, we're in the non-invasive body contouring and facial contouring business. Basically means that you can use cold temperature, so non-invasive and refreshing, to make clients feel good about themselves, look youthful, and just have this really fantastic toned, lifted, tightened self. That's really amazing, right? So if you're not walking around looking like a billboard of really enjoying your treatments, it's going to hurt your business. So if you have the ability to have an amazing brand experience in your own business, I highly recommend that you do it, because the lack of doing so is actually doing a disservice to your business. Because if you can do these services at your own convenience, by your own staff, whenever you want, and you don't, you know how difficult it is to tell somebody that they should pay you a lot of money for something that you don't value? The opposite actually is so powerful. So if you're able to say, I joined and started this business because I personally love to feel good about myself and I just don't have time. This is a fantastic way for me to look good, feel good, and have amazing self confidence. I built a business around it and I love to share it with others. People will now trust you because you're a walking message that's totally credible about your business, and they understand that you too enjoy these services and that they want what you have, which is contagious confidence. You should also practice on other people's, meaning not just you getting the treatments and getting the results, but you should be confident in giving other people those results. Your staff, your advocates, your influencers, your power partners, your key contacts in your community, potential prospects that are interested. Like these are really great opportunities for you to give demonstrations to like fine tune your technique, learn how to handle questions, find out what it is that's interesting in your marketplace that people are attracted to that brings them to your treatment room, and do lots of repetitions. You don't just become confident in something. You don't say, "Oh, I'm going to do this when I figure out how to become confident." You only get confident by going through the work. So, by doing the repetitions, really ugly, really messy, really scared, that's the actual process that you're going to learn how to talk about it, how to answer questions, what it is people are looking for. And are you able to turn that device on and make somebody look 3 inches slimmer in a couple of weeks? You got to figure that out. And then when you do, the confidence just comes. It's a byproduct of really putting in the effort. And while you're practicing, I want you to educate yourself, not just your clients, but listen to them. Ask them lots of questions. What did they like? What did they not like? What did they feel? Who did they talk to? What kind of feedback did they get? And make sure you're getting content from these that you're able to share and bring other people along the journey. Step 3, optimize your process. So you probably have somewhat of a rough process because you have a business or you have some idea on how you're going to incorporate these services. But as you're doing lots of repetitions and quantity of treatments and demonstrations and practice, and you're going to see things that could be optimized in your services, like your photo process, like, what types of packages are there, other, reasons that certain clients are not getting results. One of those is usually they're not drinking enough water or they're not making any, cuts to some of their bad habits. They're not adding some good habits. So you have to learn how to incorporate your process to make sure that you're minimizing all of those variables. So that way you have consistent outcomes. During this time, I also want you to think about what your ideal client is by thinking about which of those demonstrations came back and bought a package, who told their friends. And so when you're looking at, some of the success factors in your demonstrations and in your practice sessions, you're going to be able to see some trends in the who was interested, who paid you money, who paid you a lot of money, who visited a lot, who sent you a lot of people. And it'll be start to become evident who your ideal client is, and then create an ideal package for them. So instead of being so high custom, like in ABC scenario, you get one treatment. In XYZ scenario, you get 10 treatments. In these other random situations, you get 20 treatments. Try to streamline, like look at your business and say, okay, majority of my clients did really well. And in my case, most of the clients that did really well in the first couple of weeks and months of doing my treatments, I noticed the ones that did really well, the ones that came weekly, that did 10 body treatments and then probably added some facials. And so instead of saying, oh, you should start with one and let's go to 10, I actually told everyone, if you're a client that is looking to have consistent outcomes, I suggest you come in for 10 treatments. We're going to put your weekly appointments on autopilot every Wednesday at 11 o'clock before your regular team meeting. You're going to come to us and then you can get right back to work. And just schedule it because, looking at your clientele, in my case, they're all working moms that just fit in their appointments randomly in their workday and they made it work. They finally were able to focus on themselves. They were tired of putting themselves in the back burner. So then I created an ideal package for them weekly, 10 weeks. You're going to look amazing. Document those client transformations. So instead of just being haphazard about like, you come in for this, you come in for that. Sometimes I do a facial, sometimes I do a voice testimonial. Always do the same process. So have kind of a checklist of what that consultation looks like. Have another, recommendation of what those protocols look like in terms of the ideal package for your ideal clients. And then have them do their photos. Make sure they're very consistent. You do photos in our case before and after every treatment. So if they have 20 appointments, they got 40 sets of photos times 3 different angles. And the reason that you're doing that is because the consistency shows that you have an expectation of seeing results, and that demands authority and respect, and they just know the process and they follow. Now you're going to need to increase your lead generation because you did a little bit of like, trial and error, and now you want to increase the volume. So if you did one event randomly, now let's do it weekly, let's do it monthly. If you had some conversations with a power partner, do events with them. If you're doing some organic marketing, now put that on autopilot. Either hire somebody to do some organic marketing. If you're, got a great process for the organic leads, now look at paid advertising on social. So you should start thinking about, now that you're able to handle volume of activity because you have a streamlined process, you can start to be a little bit less hands-on and start automating some of your process, whether that's by delegation to a person or it's delegating to software. And step 4, this is when it gets really fun. So the first 3 steps were really about learning, where your business is successful, learning how to eliminate the areas of variability, and also listening to your customers and trying to find out who you best serve. So in step 4, this is where it gets really fun because you're able to better serve your ideal clients. So step 4, elevate your client's experience. So you started roughly by introducing a contouring treatment. And then as you started treating them, you learned they need to come weekly and water is an issue. Now you're offering water regularly. You're learning that the clients aren't sure of the results. You're doing photos at every interaction. And you're able to then have these interactions regularly that you're able to say, did you go and do your lymphatic treatments after our, contouring treatments? No, I just didn't have time. Oh, let me add that during your appointments. And then you start to bring these experiences into their hour treatment. During this period, you're also going to take that ideal client that you looked at and created. And instead of just being excited that that is your ideal client, in this stage of your business, you're actually only going to target your ideal client. You're only going to talk about them in your social. You're going to ask people for them. You're going to create your entire business for that ideal client. And this gets to be a little bit difficult because most people think they're already doing this. But what they're forgetting is when they don't do it, it's actually more detrimental when they do it. For example, if you think you target women like I do, very busy women that are juggling life and family and work, which basically means they're 45 to 65. They're a mother who has a full-time job. They don't have lots of flexibility in their schedule and therefore have put themselves last. And then a man walks into your business and says, hey, I want a package for body contouring. When I say only target women, I only target your ideal client, it also means that you have to have the stamina or the confidence to say, you know what, you're not my ideal target audience and you probably better serve somewhere else. I'm really focused on treating A, B, and C type of clients and you just don't fit. If you're able to do that, you've actually done a better job of targeting your clientele by disqualifying those that don't qualify. I will tell you that is one of the biggest mistakes most people make is that they dilute their business value by bringing in Tom, John, Joe, Dick, Harry, and they say, and I also serve, very busy mom professionals juggling life and family. Well, actually, if your ideal client is only like 10% of what you're serving, you're not doing a fantastic job of creating a high value brand experience. Um, you're also going to become very skilled because you're going to ask your ideal clients some of their needs. And so, instead of just being a body contouring service or a treatment business that works on helping clients in this profile, you're actually going to be the go to resource for these clients because you know them really well. They come to you weekly, they share lots of information, and you're able to connect them to resources either that are inside your business or outside. And during this period, I want you to think about how can you continue to give more value so you can have more predictable results with this clientele. And it's during this experience where you'll find that you could probably add some little, touches to your business that makes it go, up a couple notches in the value. So I hope this is really helpful for you. I really enjoy this business. I enjoy it so much that, in the beginning of my presentation, I told you how I intended to educate partners. I kind of got tired of telling people what to do. And so I decided to create my own business and I could talk to myself and do exactly what I did or what I said. So I hope that this is helpful for you. You being a fly in the wall in my business, I really hope it helps you take your business up a couple notches and that you could have really incredible success like we have here in Burnsville, New Jersey. We love what we do. We're fulfilled by, the treatments we offer. We make sure we're a client in our business, and we find that that really is the flywheel in keeping us going. Because if you enjoy what you do, it becomes a passion of life work, and the compensation is secondary to having fulfillment and pride in your daily work. Hope that's helpful. Take care. Bye.